Hello there, a very good evening and welcome to another edition of Primetime News on TV1. I'm Charlene Benedict for the Newsfirst team.
And I am Rochelle Samudra. Before we begin, we would like to wish a happy Thai Pongal to all our viewers celebrating this festival. As always, let's start off with a look at our headlines for tonight.
President scheduled to meet with Chinese President tomorrow. Acting Digital Minister assures that the digital identity system possesses no national security threat due to involvement from an Indian institution. The banks of the Gallo River in Ampara are at risk of collapsing. Thai Pongal celebrated in Sri Lanka and across the world. Increasing wind speeds are raising concerns about a potential surge in wildfires across Los Angeles.
Starting off with a look at your stories in detail, Sri Lankan President Anurukumara Dissanayake arrived in China this morning for a 4-day state visit. He is undertaking this visit at the invitation of Chinese President Xi Jinping. Consequently, President Dissanayake is the first head of state to visit China this year.
President Anurukumara Dissanayake, who embarked on a state visit to China at the invitation of Chinese President Xi Jinping, arrived at Beijing International Airport at approximately 10:25 a.m. today. He was received with full military honors by Chinese Deputy Foreign Minister Sheng Xiongdong. During this state visit, President Dissanayake is scheduled to participate in several sectoral tours focusing on technological and agricultural development as well as poverty alleviation. He will also attend high-level business meetings. Additionally, several bilateral agreements are expected to be signed during this visit. This marks President Dissanayake's second foreign visit since assuming office. The visit, which commenced today, will conclude on the 17th of January. Accompanying the President on this visit are Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism Vijay Herath, Minister of Transport, Highways, Ports and Civil Aviation Bimal Ratnayake, Chinese Ambassador to Sri Lanka Kee Zeng Hong and Sri Lankan Ambassador to China Majinta Jayasinghe.
Is there a threat to national security by entrusting an Indian company with the development of the digital ID data system? Now, this topic has sparked a debate. Deputy Minister of Digital Economy Eranka Weeraratne assures that there is no threat to the national security. He stated that the digital ID could be introduced within approximately 6 months.
What data will be included in the digital ID?
In the
process of digitization, 3 methods are used to verify identity: fingerprints, facial recognition and iris patterns. These methods will be used to verify the identity of any Sri Lankan citizen in the future.
What is the cost of implementing the digital ID and how will it be funded?
Digital ID කියන මේ තත්ත්ව පද්ධතිය බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා මේ මාසෙ ඉඳන් වගේ.
We expect to operationalize the digital ID data system starting this month. The cost of deploying the digital ID system is significant, potentially around 20 billion rupees. We anticipate that approximately 50% of this cost will be covered through Indian aid. We hope to offset a substantial portion of these expenses through this assistance.
ආධාරය හරහා ඒකෙන් විශාල ප්‍රමාණයක් අපි පියවා ගන්න අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
If the funding comes from India, can India access Sri Lankan citizens' data through the digital ID? Isn't this a national security concern? The People's Struggle Alliance recently raised their concerns in detail. Who will be receiving these details of the iris patterns or biometric data? These will be received by an Indian company. This agreement grants an Indian company access to the iris patterns and biometric data of all Sri Lankan citizens for the creation of digital IDs. This data will be stored and owned by the Indian company and potentially by the Indian government. This decision was previously made by the cabinet for this very purpose. Deputy Minister Eranka Weeraratne responded to these concerns.
In the process of securing these funds, there was a condition for an Indian company to develop a system for us. Initially proposed during Ranil Wickremesinghe's tenure, the Indian company was to manage the system, including biometric data, for 2 years. However, we have since completely changed this. The Indian company will now only develop this system according to our specifications. All access to this system will be exclusively controlled by our government, with no permission granted to Indian companies.
කිසිම අවසරයක් නැහැ කියන එක අපි පැහැදිලිව කියලා දෙනවා.
In gratitude for the strength bestowed by the sun god to ensure the successful agricultural activities, the Tamil community around the world are celebrating the Thai Pongal Festival today. This day highlights the importance of the virtue of gratitude to the entire world.
In the Tamil calendar, the first month of the year is known as Thai. Pongal means to boil over, symbolizing abundance and prosperity. Thai Pongal marks the beginning of the new year. Hindu devotees enthusiastically celebrated this festival by offering the first hours of the year to the sun god, praying for prosperity and well-being for their families and the nation. They begin their day with religious rituals. A key tradition of the Thai Pongal festival is offering new rice, honey from new sugarcane, fresh milk rice to the sun god. Additionally, the ritual of boiling milk until it overflows symbolizes future prosperity for the family. This festival, deeply connected with nature, holds a prominent place among the agricultural celebrations. In celebration of the Thai Pongal festival, Hindu devotees across the island organized various religious ceremonies. Meanwhile, the capital Maharaja group conducted religious observances this morning in honor of the Thai Pongal festival. President Kumar Sanaka has issued a message of greetings for the Thai Pongal festival. In his message, he said that at a time when Sri Lanka has embarked on a transformative Clean Sri Lanka initiative aimed at fostering ecological and ethical progress, the values symbolized by Thai Pongal align profoundly with the objectives of this initiative, reflecting the inseparable bond between humanity and nature. He expresses hope that Sri Lankans will move forward with renewed vigor this year, fostering sustainable peace and unity, and pledges his commitment to providing the necessary policy and practical leadership. Despite challenges, the President assures his dedication to fulfilling the promises made to the people with courage and determination. Prime Minister Harini Amarasuriya, in her message of greetings for Thai Pongal festival, emphasizes the responsibility of leading the country towards a renaissance era through strategic, policy and attitudinal changes. She further states that the government and the state have embarked on a transformative journey aiming for significant change.
Shakti FM's Thai Pongal celebration continued for its fourth day today at the Havelock City Mall in Pallavatta.
Shakti FM's Thai Pongal celebrations are underway at Havelock City Mall in Pallavatta, offering a variety of events for visitors to enjoy throughout the day. Various competitions were organized today by Shakti FM in line with the Thai Pongal festivities. Shakti FM's Pongal festivities also featured many cultural events this evening. Group Director of the Capital Maharaja Group, Sivan Daniel, along with the senior management of the Capital Maharaja Group, were also present at the event. Prizes were also distributed among the winners of the competitions. Meanwhile, a special concert organized by Shakti FM featuring performances by the Suryas band is being held at the Havelock City Mall from 6 p.m. today. All of Shakti FM's events are being broadcast live from Havelock City Mall from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., allowing everyone to be part of the celebrations. The festivities, which began on Saturday, will conclude today. What happened to the village? A bridge intended to connect two bridges, which construction began in 2016, remains unfinished to this date. Why was the work halted midway? Let's take a look.
What happened to the village?
This is the easiest route from Suryavava through Meegahajathura to Thanamalvilla in Hambantota. There is a bridge over the Malala Ara water along this road. Look at the vehicles passing by. How dangerous is this? The bridge is a death trap with cables tied to trees.
වැස්සකාලට බස් එක යන්නෙත් නැහැ. ඔතනින් බස් එකක් යන්නත් බෑ. පාලම කඩාගෙන වැටේ කියලා මිනිස්සු ඉතින් බයේ ඉන්නේ. අර ගමටයි මේ පැත්තට යන්න අපිට ක්‍රමයක් නැහැ නැත්නම් මේ පාර ඇරෙන්න.
Who is responsible for putting these people's lives at risk without any regard for their safety? Here's the story. This is a temporary bridge. There was a permanent bridge set up here. It was dismantled to build a new one, with work starting in 2016 during the Yahapalaniya government. The work was undertaken by the State Engineering Corporation. The estimated cost was over 13.7 million rupees. Electricity was also brought to this area. Here's what has been done. There is no old bridge, no new bridge, and the temporary bridge remains until today. The iron brought for the construction is rusting. The foundation of the bridge was not even completed before they laid the asphalt.
සජිත් මහත්තයාගේ ආණ්ඩුවට පස්සේ මේක කඩලා අලුතෙන් හදන්න ගත්තා. නමුත් දැන් ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ආණ්ඩුවක් පෙරලා දැන් අවුරුදු ගාණක් ගත වුණා. මේ වෙනකම් මේ පාලම තාම හැදෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඉක්මන හදා දෙන්න කියලා තමයි කියන්නේ. යන්න බෑ වෙහි කාට මහලා රිස්ට් කරන් පස්සේ යන්න බෑ යන්න පාරකුත් නැහැ. අපරාධ සල්ලි අර කම්බි ඔයම දීලා යනවා යකඩ ගොඩවල් අපරාධේ. මහජන අපරාධ මුදල් නෙමෙයි.
What happened to the funds allocated for this bridge? Can our country's economy bear the burden of such wasteful projects?
What happened to the village?
Have you ever wondered why 22 million people can't directly lead the country? Why do we send a select few to represent us and make decisions on our behalf? But here's the real question. Are these representatives truly fulfilling their responsibilities? Now, it's only when they step into the lives of the common people, feel their pain and listen to their stories that they might pause and reflect on their duties.
The partially constructed bridge over the Valabe River connecting Thaligala and Liangastora in Hambantota remains incomplete despite construction starting in 2018 with the promise of completion. As a result, villagers are forced to travel an additional 30 kilometers. Although there is a small bridge accessible only by motorcycles, it is in a state of disrepair. The plight of this bridge was revealed when the village group visited homes in the Hambantota district today.
මේ පැත්තේ මේ තියෙන පාලමත් මේකත් හරිම අබලම් පාලමක්. හරිම පහසුතාවයක් තියෙන්නේ මේක හදලා දෙනවා නම් ලොකුම දෙයක්. ගොඩාක්ම දුෂ්කර මේ මිනිස්සුන්ට මේ පාලම තමයි. අවදානම් ගන්න දැන් තියෙන තත්ත්වය මේව මල කඩ කාලා දිරලා වගේ තියෙන්නේ දැන් මේ අලුතෙන් රිපෙයාර් එකක් කරෙත් නැහැ. උග කාලෙකට. අලුත් පාලම හැදුවා සෑහෙන පිටින් වටිනාකම කියන්න බෑ.
This situation highlights the urgent need for infrastructure development to improve the lives of the local community. In the village of Vani Virankulam in the Mullative district, the residents live each day in fear of elephant attacks, risking their lives. By 3 p.m, elephants enter the village, turning life into a dangerous game. If someone is unfortunate enough to encounter an elephant on the road, their life hangs on the balance on the 15-kilometer stretch from the village to the town. The lack of proper road has also left the villagers in despair.
Gammadda, door to door.
News first with the people.
This is where dreams take flight, where stars are born, and the future of international cricket shines the brightest.
She is setting the stage alight.
16 nations will compete for World Cup glory in Malaysia.
She is putting on a show here.
And they are champions.
The ICC Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup 2025 begins January 18 on TV1.
News. Ampara District Secretary Chintaka Bebrikama says that heavy rains accompanied by strong winds have caused the erosion of riverbanks in Galloya, leading to the risk of a water overflow, which could potentially result in floods in several villages.
Riverbanks of Galloya in Kotavehera has once again been eroded. As a result, significant damage has occurred to the section of irrigation canal that carries water for farming. A section of the road parallel to the Galloya has also been destroyed due to riverbank erosion. Farmers report that this has created a situation where they are unable to access water for their crops.
ඒ හැරිල්ල විනාශෙන් තමයි මේ ගඟ මෙච්චර විනාශ වෙන්නේ. අපිට දරා ගන්න බෑ මේක. ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම. මොකද අපි උමුරු කරලා තියෙන පල්ලෙහා ඒවට දැන් ගොයම් පීදෙනවා. ආයේ දැන් අපිට පිළිසරණක් නැහැ කාගේවත්. කියන්නේ එක පැයකට ඉංගියා ස්පීල් එක හරියා නම් මේක යනවා මේ බලාවිද්දින් දිදි ගාලා වැටෙනවා. මේක විසඳලා දෙන්න කියලා අපි ඊටම බෑගෑපත්ත ඉල්ලා තියෙනවා. කලින් මේ අඩි ගානක් උඩින් ගියපු ගඟ දැන් අඩි 20කට වැඩිය ගැඹුරයි.
A group including the Ampara District Secretary visited the location. Ampara District Secretary convened a media briefing to explain about this situation today.
ඇදහැරෙන වර්ෂාව නිසා තමයි ගල්ඔය ගඟේ ජල මට්ටම වැඩි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේම තමයි ගල්ඔය ගඟේ අර
The water level of the Galloya are rising due to heavy showers. Also, riverbanks are eroding. A team including the 24th Brigade of the Sri Lanka Army, the Ampara District Secretary, the disaster management officials visited the site. Upon inspecting the riverbank erosion, it became clear that it would not be possible to temporarily stop erosion by placing sandbags as the damage is extensive. At this stage, our alternative plan involves trying to divert the sand accumulation on the opposite side of the river to reduce the water flow towards the eroded riverbank. This could help mitigate the riverbank from further erosion to some extent. However, all of us, including the district secretary and the team, are on standby. If the riverbank continues to erode, we are prepared to provide assistance to families in such areas as Senanayakapura and Suduala. We have already instructed the district secretary to prioritize the evacuation of elderly people with special needs from houses to safe locations. We are fully prepared to respond to any emergency situation.
ස්ථානවලට ඒ අය යොමු කරගන්න කියලා ඒ වගේම අපි සියලුම දෙනා සූදානමින් ඉන්නවා.
Newsfirst on several occasions have reported on the potential risk of this situation. The immediate concern is the breakage of the irrigation canal during heavy rains in January this year. Farm organizations say that while temporary solutions were proposed, the lack of a proper resolution has caused this situation to worsen. Meanwhile, residents of the area have said that a dangerous situation has arisen in the Badugama Hinguruava region of the Thirappane Divisional Secretariat due to a water canal issue. A large tunnel has formed beneath the spillway, causing the water from the reservoir to flow away uncontrollably. Farmers have expressed that despite notifying the authorities for approximately 4 years, no permanent solution has been provided to date.
ආසස්තරි බොත් ඇති නැත්තන් නෑ වතුර ටික සේරම ගියාම යල් කන්නේ වැඩ කරගන්න විදිහක් නෑ පොඩි වැඩක් තියෙන්නේ මේක කරන්න කොන්ක්‍රීට් එකක් දාලා දිගට ස්පීල් එක හදලා දුන්නා නම් ගානකට මේ වතුර ඉතුරු වෙනවා යල් කන්නේත් වැඩ කරගන්න පුළුවන් මේ කුඹුරු.
Farmers have pointed out that along with the water flowing out, both the reservoir and crops are in a dangerous situation. The Somavati Sungavila road has been closed near Diggala, close to the Somavati temple, due to the rising water levels of the Mahavali river caused by heavy showers. The road spanning a 2-kilometer section is submerged. The Disaster Management Centre has stated that the area is approximately 2.5 feet underwater. Steps were taken to evacuate groups of devotees who had come to worship at the Somavati temple by bus through Valikanda. This was carried out with the assistance of the Police Special Task Force and Civil Defence Department officials. Due to heavy rain since yesterday, the opening of the sluice gates at Kalaweva has caused water to flow into the Rajangane Reservoir, resulting in the opening of 4 sluice gates at the Rajangane Reservoir. A water flow of 2,900 cubic feet per second is being released into Kalaweva. Due to heavy showers, all the sluice gates of the Nachadua Reservoir have been opened. As a result, approximately 2,314 cubic feet of water per second is being released into the Malwathu. The reservoir's chief engineer U.N. Javardhana has urged residents living downstream of Malwathu to remain vigilant. The sluice gates of the Galimbidunwava and Huruluwava reservoirs in Anuradhapura are still being opened. Chief engineer in charge of the Huruluwava reservoir, Dasun Tilakaratna, said that by this morning approximately 260.64 cubic feet of water per second was being released from the Huruluwava reservoir into the Anoya. The sluice gates of the Dambulla Kandalama reservoir have been reopened due to heavy showers. The water is overflowing through the Dambulla Miriskonia Oya and the Dambulu Oya, eventually reaching Kalaweva. Around 6 am this morning, a rock that had been perched above a house in Dambavinna, Valimada, collapsed, causing damage to the property. The Department of Meteorology has issued a warning regarding strong winds and rough seas. According to the announcement, the wind speeds in coastal areas extending from Colombo to Puttalam, Mana and up to Kankasanture is expected to increase to 50 to 60 km per hour at times. The sea conditions in these areas will also be rough at times, as mentioned in the weather advisory. Additionally, heavy rainfall exceeding 75 mm is expected in certain areas of the eastern and Uva provinces, as well as in the Mathale and Norelia districts. The weather forecast also indicates the possibility of rain or thunderstorms in the northern, northeastern, central, Uva and southern provinces, along with the Mathale and Norelia district. Meanwhile, local government authorities in 5 districts have issued flood warnings for several areas. The National Building Research Organisation has stated that flood warnings have been issued for several divisional secretariats in the Badulla, Kandy, Kurunagala, Mathale and Norelia districts.
Water levels of the Senanayaka Samudra are rapidly rising owing to heavy showers. Now, the Senanayaka Samudra, that has a capacity of 70,000 acre-feet, currently has a water capacity that is up to 103 feet. At 110 feet of height, the sluice gates of the Senanayaka Samudra will be opened. According to the District Secretary of Ampara, owing to the risks associated with the rapidly rising water levels, 100 families of the Suduvella village have been evacuated to safe locations. According to the District Secretary, the families are currently being sheltered at a temple. The cleaning and sanitation of the Nikavaratia Paddy warehouse owned by the Paddy Marketing Board was carried out today.
This facility, which has the capacity to store 2.5 million kilograms of paddy, was cleaned and sanitized with the participation of the All Ceylon Farmers Federation and government officials.
We, along with the local farmers and the Ministry of Agriculture, are involved in the cleaning and sanitization of the Paddy Marketing Board's warehouse to prepare for the storage of this season's paddy harvest. The warehouses are now ready to purchase paddy at the government guaranteed price, and this paddy will be used as a strategic reserve.
Companies play better politics than the politicians of today.
We are not supposed to play with the people's expectation. Then it will be a huge disaster.
When you're bankrupt and when you're going to bankruptcy, two different.
The grandfather is saying it is going to take this long. What does he know?
It's about the lack of sense of humor in Sri Lankans.
Issues that matter the most. Unfiltered discussions. Real answers. Face to face. Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m. on TV1.
Our development era kickstarts from 2002-2005.
If you're off duty, right, you're entitled to do what you want. And Niresh, whether it's pluck coconuts or whether it's scraping the coconuts, they have the freedom to do that.
By having taxes on imports for the food on the poorest of the poor,
is a big problem.
I think economic inclusion of the rural people is very important to keep the economy going.
Government and state are two things. So time to time we need restructuring. We can't go on. That is the main reason why NPP won.
Face the Nation every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. on TV1.
Firefighters are facing challenging conditions in their battle against Los Angeles wildfires, with powerful winds forecast over the next 24 hours that could cause extreme fire behavior in the blazes or turn any news park into a raging inferno. The Eaton and Palisades fires are likely the second and fourth most destructive in California history. The total area burned by the Palisades, Eaton and Hearst fires is about 60 square miles.
The Angeles National Forest and San Gabriel Mountain National Monument will remain closed through Sunday due to critical fire danger. Going into and remaining in the Angeles National Forest and its roads and trails will be prohibited. Violators could be fined up to $10,000 and serve jail time of up to 6 months or both. Fire crews have made further headway against Los Angeles fires, but the most powerful winds will arrive in the early hours of this morning, with much of the area under red flag warnings. As crews work to contain the still blazing Palisades and Eaton fires, a new blaze, the Otto fire, broke out late Monday in Ventura County, part of an area under the highest fire threats as wind picks up. As they sweep through hundreds of homes, they are finding victims' bodies, with 24 confirmed dead and dozens missing. The Eaton and Palisades fire are likely the second and fourth most destructive in California history. The total area burnt by Palisades, Eaton and Hearst fires is about 60 square miles. Wildfires are fueled by a complex mix of factors, but scientists say the climate crisis is loading the dice in favor of more severe blazes.
I've been a resident of Pasadena for 14 years, living close to the area affected by the Eaton fire that has been burning for the past week. Like many neighboring communities, Pasadena is known for its beauty and tight-knit neighborhoods. Last week, both Altadena and parts of Pasadena were directly impacted by the fire. On Wednesday morning, my family evacuated for safety, though fortunately the flames never reached our immediate area. The fire was contained about 3 miles north of us. Over the weekend, the destructive Santa Ana winds finally calmed, allowing firefighters to make significant progress. As of today, the Eaton fire has scorched 14,000 acres and is 27% contained. The air quality has improved, and a water advisory that had been in effect for our area has been lifted, helping to restore some sense of normality. Last week, schools in the area were closed, but some are reopening this week with modified procedures due to lingering inclement weather. Sadly, some schools in the area have been completely destroyed by the flames. In the weeks ahead, we'll have a clearer picture of the full extent of the damage. Despite the devastation, we are witnessing incredible community support. Yesterday, we joined a local relief effort, and the lines of cars dropping off donations were overwhelming. It's a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit, how even in times of adversity, people are coming together to help one another. The generosity and support here are nothing short of inspiring.
South Korea's Constitutional Court adjourned the opening session of the impeachment trial of suspended President Yoon Suk-yeol within minutes today after the embattled leader did not attend court.
A lawyer advising Yoon had said the president, who had been holed up in his hillside villa in Seoul for weeks, would not attend, saying a bid by authorities to detain him prevented Yoon from expressing his position at the trial. The next trial session is scheduled for Thursday, and if Yoon also does not attend, the trial proceedings will go ahead with his legal team representing him. Acting Chief Justice Moon Hyang-bae said the next trial session is scheduled for Thursday, and if Yoon also does not attend, the trial proceedings will go ahead with his legal team representing him. Outside the court, one of Yoon's lawyers, Yoon Kab-kyun, said the president would decide whether to go to the court in person on Thursday after discussions on his defense strategy. The Constitutional Court must decide within 180 days whether to remove Yoon from office or restore his presidential powers. Yoon also faces a criminal investigation for alleged insurrection detention, with authorities seeking to execute an arrest warrant after he ignored summons to appear for questioning.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News on TV1 for tonight.
Thank you for joining. Good night.